Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice and to My Choice Tuesday. Sometimes a girl just has to have some Disney and some a cappella all combined into one. And so to do that, I wanted to bring back a group that we haven't heard in quite some time, Voctave. We last heard them in a Disney Love medley, and that was featuring Kirsty from Pentatonics. Now, that was great. And a bunch of you back then recommended the Disney Princess Medley. I just haven't gotten to it since, but I've been dying to because I just love this stuff. I'm such a girl at heart. I know, it's ridiculous. Plus, Jamie Ray is an amazing a cappella arranger. He's done all kinds of things. Not only has he worked with Voctave and Voices of Liberty, but he's also written things for Pentatonics and written things on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And he's worked with the London Symphony. He's just really, really good at what he does. So I have to hear what he does with Disney and princess songs. That sounds great, right? Okay, let's get to it. I did not know we were going to start this with one of the singers that I just find out of this world phenomenal. This girl's name is Kate Lott, and she has to be one of the best high sopranos I have ever heard in an a cappella group. We saw her perform recently in Disney World singing in Voices of Liberty, and she knocked it out of the park. They only need the one high soprano. She's got it covered the whole time. She has perfect control of her vibrato. I love the way she modifies vowels. It's stunning. It makes it really clear what she is saying, so it doesn't even seem like she's modifying them. And it doesn't sound like she has to get louder as she goes higher, but she still has quite a bit of power available behind her sound if she wants it. This is just stunning. Also, kudos, the lu, lu, lu. I think they're doing an L into an U vowel. You guys have heard me talk about a cappella arrangement before, but I like U vowels, particularly because of the way they draw people in. They're a much softer sounding, deeper vowel. And the lu and L is also a very soft kind of consonant. You might get kind of a similar sound out of a emu or nu, but those sound like words or a cow. So lu is a much better choice. I like it. It sounds more like a lullaby in many ways. Just like, entering into dreamland. Listen to this connection of the M through some into the top D on the day. It's so good. It's so good. And even the little bend on find. I'm sorry, I didn't know that I was immediately going to start geeking out about one voice. We're going to definitely hear them all, but wow. This is so utter perfection, what she's doing with this line. And that's the moment I'm talking about, with just a teensy bit of vowel modification, meaning that her jaw is dropping a little bit further than it normally would to say those words or sing them in a lower pitch. So instead of will, it's well, right? She's got a lot more space in there. Wow. note. Again, she doesn't have to really belt it out there to get up there. It's so clean. You understand the word. It's far away, but she's not singing A because that would be really difficult to sing on a diphthong completely with more of a closed mouth up there. She's leaving the mouth wider for that vowel modification. It's just like, if you want to learn about how to sing soprano in an a cappella group, you just need to learn from Kate. It's right on, spot on in every single way. Oh, backwards. Wow. She even on... I'm sorry, I'm stopping it so much at the beginning. She even onsets the next note perfectly. And I love the vibrato that she has. It sounds very close to Snow White's vibrato, but it's just a teensy bit wider. Really beautiful. Beautiful pitch there as well. Her voice is enchanting. So this is Tiffany Coburn, and she sounds like a friend. I love the way her voice sounds so personal right away. There's a really nice an airiness to it. There's a smile in it the whole time. You can really tell in her structure she's got a beautiful inner smile that she's sustaining, and that gives it part of that friendly tone. And I like it. I like it as the answer. Your eyes is so familiar a gleam, yet I know that's so cute. True that visions are set upon every sea. This is really impressive. So she sounds like she might naturally have a tone that likes to sit just a teensy bit lower. But when she went up into Dream, it really had a more slender sound. When she went up, it was very, very beautiful, had nice control, made me think, well, I'm not actually sure what her normal voice type would be because of the way she made that slender, sort of zipped up the tone a little bit, if you would there. And I feel that when she was down in that lower register, she even had almost sometimes like a little slight, not husky, almost like a tiny sultry edge to it in the tone that was just a little bit warmer. So I thought it was going to get heavier when it went up, and it didn't. And really, really pretty. I have to say the arrangement is delightful. And the way that they're executing it is also just incredible. The timing is very, very difficult in this. There is a lot of push and pull on the tempo, and especially there's moments towards the end where it will slow down as it goes up to a high point and then almost like swings back into the tempo. That's really hard to keep together, and they're doing such a good job of it. And I think arranging in that style, you have to know that you have a group that can handle it. And I think that Jamie's just done some really fun things here. The yet moment was adorable, got giggles as well. Anyhow, loving it. Oh, let's go back. Listen to it. Wow.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Aw, she has that same wonder in her voice that Ariel has. I like that. This is Sarah Whitmore, I believe. And I'm enjoying especially like she has that smile inside as well. I bet all of them are going to have that smile. That's one of the things that we associate often with the Disney princess sound is having an inner smile. Let's go back. Also notice that it was do-do-do-do, which has a slightly more percussive vocal sound. A D is slightly more percussive than an L. And that helps when you have essentially like little arpeggios that are going everywhere, it almost sounds like little harp bits going up. Very, very subtle difference, but one that Jamie Ray obviously knows about and uses very well.
Think I'm the girl.
Oh, let's go back a little more to this moment.
Look at this stuff.
Nope, back further, sorry.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? I've got gadgets and...
Listen behind her to where they go from oohs to ahs. It's really interesting when you hear these essentially ebb and flows in the dynamics. And when it wants to grow some, it will switch to an ah vowel. And when it wants to come back, it will switch to an oo vowel. Back to this moment. Huh?
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. And I'm ready to know.
Loved the bass drop in there. The way it really, you got almost drowned. Those basses are really holding that down. And I loved the way that we switched to full words here as well. It's very common that when you want the solo singer to have more of the spotlight, you'll have oohs or ahs or very light syllables behind. But when you want to give the whole structure a feeling of like, pow, we're here, we've arrived, you get more words. And I like that was accented here by this big drop in the sound. Really cool.
Some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? When's in my turn? When I love to explore that shore above.
I just love hearing lots of voices together. This is satisfying something in me so much. I love the way that you hear them, these moving middle lines on ahs, and there's lots of different movement at different times, lots of weaving of the parts, really cool. And even at right about where we stopped, we heard Kate go up onto a high note. She's just on point. Their tuning is gorgeous. I feel like it's just beautiful to have the sound washing over my ears. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? We're going to go back a little bit into this part just because I find it glorious.
What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? When's in my turn? When I love to explore that shore above. Out of the sea.
Nice.
Wish I could be part of that.
Ooh, let's go back just a tiny bit. And this is partly because two things. I love the way that Sarah switched from having a sound that was much fuller and what I would call more condensed, a little bit more laser and drive there to something that was much more airy and light. So that was a nice transition. It's what I would come to expect of somebody singing this song. And I feel like she did it really, really well. Liked the switch to oohs again in the background. And then, hey, yo, this is Jamie Ray, the second guy from the left. So he's the person that's doing the arrangement and singing in this as well. And I think a bunch of these people also sing in Voices of Liberty from time to time. Really, really impressive group. Anyhow, we'll keep going.
Part of that world. Look at me, I will never pass for a perfect bride or a perfect daughter, can it be? I'm not meant to play this part. Now I see that if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart.
I love this tone quality. It has a lot more, it has more depth to it for sure. And that's really nice. I think Lea Salonga was the original singer behind Mulan. Of course, this is Mulan Reflection. And it's really nice to hear this sort of earthiness that's brought to this part. The singer here is Ashley Espinoza. And I really love it. It's got a different take that still feels Disney princess. I'm guessing the key is probably a little bit lower. And it just sounds like it fits her voice. Even when I feel like Lea Salonga is like she's such a Broadway goddess. So how do you take that and make it your own? And I love the way here, just a little bit of expression that Ashley did. It was on the word truly. It had a little bit of extra lean into it. Definitely sounds like it has some heart and feeling behind it. Let's go back a little bit. I'm very appreciative of the way this is set in her voice.
This part, now I see that if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know?
I mean, first of all, Kate and that high note, wow. Had so much appreciation for what Ashley is doing with her registers right now. She's blended the sound beautifully. So it had just as much presence and weight in the lower register. And when she's going up high, I hear more of that belt coming out. I hear definitely some extra overtones are happening in the ring of her sound. She's got some more power and drive behind it. But I love that it is so smoothly moving between each note. I don't hear a bunch of shifting at all. Really good. That is the kind of thing that often doesn't get appreciated because people don't recognize it when it seems like things are smooth, unless you're people who are really, really into voice and you're like, oh, most people have a really big shift there, but she just is really easing it over.
Back at me. Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Somehow I cannot hide who I am, though I've tried. When will my reflection show who I
I just have to know what Kate's singing on top here. Wait, what? Is she singing an F on top? What's she going on? What's going on there?
cannot hide who I am, though I've tried. When
it could be that high. That's why I was like, no, I must have been wrong. Double check it. She sings a high F. That's like the note in the Queen of the Night aria. And she's just like singing it like it's nobody's business. I wonder if that's in whistle register for her. Her mouth is wide open, so it makes me think that that's probably just head voice. But wow. That is mind blowing. I knew she was good before, and I know that she's amazing. But this moment, my brain it has difficulties comprehending. That is the amount of control she has. I think really rivals any opera singer who's been singing coloratura their entire life. This is beautiful, beautiful control, and she has a lot of presence in the bottom of her voice as well, and she's able to go that high with like just a blended sound. What in the world? It's so crazy. But let's talk a little bit more about Ashley here. It was a great decision to put her on this part because I feel she's able to hold down that solo line with everybody else around her. You've got a part that could very easily get covered up by lots of different voices, but she's able to cut through it. That's due to her timbre in this particular register, I think. And on top of that, I think it's due to some really fantastic mixing. Voices tend to hang out in the same area of sound. So, a piano doesn't sound like a violin. The two aren't really going to cover each other up, but two voices can cover each other up fairly easily. You have to sort of adjust the timbre of the sound by finding different areas of resonance, playing with different sizes of opening in the pharynx. And this is an example of Ashley essentially having more of that laser sound, the choir having a little wider sound, but then also having really good mixing to help that out. So very, very, very nicely done. Wait, listen to that moment with Kate again. Just real quick, that transition was fantastic. Let's hear it one more time. Who I am inside.
You think the only people who are people look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew.
That is silky, silky gorgeousness right there. Wow. I like that sound. This is Crystal Johnson singing Pocahontas. This is so great. I haven't heard any of the ladies solo except for Kate before, I think. And it's so great to just go one at a time through them and hear the way they have such different sounds, but they've molded it all together into one cohesive sound beautifully. And at the same time, they're able to just come out and sparkle as well. It's gorgeous. Wow. Crystal's voice, I believe this is true contralto material. Wow.
But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bucket why he grinned? We need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and
I am wondering what Crystal Johnson is doing today. If you guys know, definitely write that in the comments. Her voice really sounds to me like something that could be on the radio in a lot of different genres right now. I could see her very easily having a successful career in R&B. This sound is very unique, very easy with runs. So much depth to the timbre though, and this kind of low woman's voice can be very, very popular in top 40s at the moment. It's great.
why he grinned. We need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. with all the colors of the wind.
Interesting also to hear she has a little bit of nasality in the sound that goes with this depth. And that's part of the reason it sounds really clear at the same time. Please note, nasality is not always a bad thing. I often hear people talking about nasality as if it's like the terrible thing. Nasality just means essentially that your soft palate is down so that some of the sound can exit out of the nose. We're always singing into these bones here for some nasal resonance, if you will. But the soft palate drops a little bit for nasality so that some of the sound comes out through the nose. That will create more twang. And often that is found in country music for sure. But in this case, it's, it's got a clarity that you hear right here. And I think it's a very interesting timbre and very, very unique sound.
We need to sing with all the voices of the mountain.
Love that little turn.
We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. When will my...
That was beautiful. So when she goes up to wind, it sounds like she's flipping into her head voice there. And she did it at one other spot in that solo as well. But beautiful. It even sounded like we have a little delay that I heard in the mix as well, which I think was smart to put on the voice there. I love the way she goes up on the W too. That transition is seamless. So gorgeous. Brilliant way to weave one phrase from 4 different princess songs there together. Yes. That's so difficult to do. That very, very careful, quiet sound with words too. This is really, really hard to do, and it's so beautiful. We have to hear it again. Oh, back a little bit.
Someday when my dreams come.
It sounds like there's just a little fluctuation down at one point there. I feel like I'm going to just hang out on cloud 9 for at least a few hours because that was so dreamy. What a wonderful way to wrap that up at the end with this just shimmery feeling of almost like you're falling asleep or going back to sleep after a beautiful dream. Really gorgeous arrangement. I loved the way that the backing parts helped to shape the texture throughout. It was very clear that they were there to help move the ebb and flow of the piece along without overtaking soloists. And I adore that they featured the 5 women all in a different princess role. And it was very interesting to hear it essentially go from high down to low at the end. It's impressive to hear how much range their female singers have. And of course, I'm mega impressed by Kate's ability to handle that top. It's just that I don't think I've ever heard a soprano that good in a choir or a cappella group before. It's really mind-boggling. If there are other a cappella groups that you'd like for me to hear, please list that in the comments below. And definitely, if there are other songs by Voctave that you would like for me to review on the channel, please mention that too. This is such a treat for me to get to do. So thank you for watching My Choice Tuesday and geeking out with me about voices and Disney. It's so much fun. If you want to do more of that, we do have a Patreon that's pretty dang cool. And if you want to learn more about singing or music in general, I have courses on that at thecharismaticvoice.com. Thank you again.